Welcome to Rimrock Meadows Estates, one of 3 gated communities here in beautiful Hayden. Today I'm going to take you on a tour behind this beautiful gate and show you what this community is all about. I'm Adriana Pickard up here in beautiful Coeur d'Alene, and come on a tour with me. So we're here driving on Meadowwood Lane. This is the main road that comes in as you're just pulling in the entry off of Lancaster. So the cool thing about Rimrock Meadows Estates is the fact that you have 2 different access points. So you have a gate off of Lancaster. So if you're coming either up or down 95 is just a straight shot down Lancaster, or if you're coming from, let's say, downtown Coeur d'Alene or Costco or anything over that general direction towards Coeur d'Alene, you can hop in through or off of English Point. So you would go down Lakeview, turn on English Point, and then you would make the first turn where you see the back side of the gate. So you have 2 access points, which I kind of like the fact that you have to have a code in order to get in, but the fact that you also have 2 points, which is really nice. So this one's going to be a little bit smaller community. I like the fact that you have larger parcels. So here on Meadowwood Lane, you're going to have homes that are this one, for example, this home right here. So this one here is currently listed for $2,640,000. There's another one that is pending over here on the other side of the street. And these are going to be larger parceled homes right over here. So for example, this white one that we just passed, that's 10 acres. Not every lot over here in Rimrock Meadows Estates is going to have that type of acreage, but it is typically larger than Fox Hollow, which is really nice. So you have some of these really beautiful custom homes here. And then you get into, look how pretty that is. You see the trees, but you're not trapped in the trees, which is nice. So as you're coming down on this main street, the first street that you'll turn on is Cattail. Cattail, you're going to have about ½ acre to 1, or actually 2-ish acre lots. There was one actually that was a parade home 2 years ago. And I know every community has their own type of parade of homes. We have ours typically in September. As you guys are aware, it's typically all of the best builders. They get together, they put a whole bunch of really cool finishes in their home, and then it goes on tour, and it typically sells fast. So this one here to the right, that one was a parade home a couple years back. That one was built by Blackwell Custom Homes. Really great guys over there. I've had several meetings with them. Really personable, great to work with as well. Responsive, which is also a perk. This home right here sold just a couple of years ago. I think it was actually last year this one sold. I love the fact that you can see Canfield off the back. And then you also have just a really nice private drive here at the end, this cul-de-sac, and then one little hidden home there at the end. Homes on Cattail, there's not very many, but they don't come up very often. But this one is a little bit more private. You have a little bit larger lots in comparison to, let's say, Fox Hollow, which I've done a video tour before. And I also love the fact that you have detached garages, detached shops. So for example, they're putting in an RV garage over here, which is really great. And a lot of these homes have just the detached shops out back. That's something that if you guys are moving from, let's say, Washington or California or Oregon or Arizona, up here in North Idaho, it's really common to have either an attached shop, like an oversized garage, A lot of people want an RV in there. They want to be able to have either, or like boat storage in their garage. They also want to have a space because it gets like, we've got solid winters, or at least cold during our winter months. And so there's a lot of times they use it as their man cave, which is really nice. And so having that the extra large lots that will accommodate a shop is a really big perk. And those tends to go a lot faster because that's an added bonus for sure. So going down Sorrel, this looks fairly comparable to Fox Hollow. So homes here in Rimrock Meadows Estates, those are anywhere between 1.6 and 2.5 list price. Here in North Idaho, you'll hear me talk about list price a lot. We're a non-disclosure state, so we can't specifically state what a home has sold for. So we can share what it was listed at. Burdock is another popular one. 2 homes sold back in 2025 on Burdock. A lot of times you can put a fence in here, but you have to obviously pass it by the Architectural Design Committee. But typically they're going to want some kind of wrought iron fence. Oh, speaking of, there's a Generac. That's something that's really popular around here. In California or Washington, you don't necessarily need that. However, here is really important because you're going to have winter months where sometimes your power is going to go out and you just need that backup. And with the Generac, it's hardwired into the house, and so the moment the power goes on, typically within 2 to 3 seconds, you're going to have power from your generator. And Generac is a really great brand that is typical around here in North Idaho. So you just saw me do a little U-turn here. On the other side of those rocks, that is Fox Hollow, the non-gated side. This is just a little cul-de-sac. This is Arnicus. A home over there sold last year. That was with a list price just under $2 million. And that's typically your range around here. I think the lowest I've seen is around 165-ish and can go up to like 2.5-ish, depending upon the lot size, depending upon the acreage. And then obviously your large home sites out front, right? Those were just under 3, one for 2.6 currently. This home recently sold. Great backyard. Another thing that we try to do around here is if you're going to have only a wrought iron fence, they also like to make sure that you have a little bit of privacy between you and your neighbor. And so they'll put a little berm between you and the neighbor, give it just a little extra privacy, if you will. And now we're turning on Spirea. This one here on the corner is currently pending, just a charming architectural style, great color choices too. This one is a to-be-built home. This is going to be a Blackwell Homes. It's a build package. This one I sold last year, great backyard. That one was built by Rosenberger, just an absolutely stunning home, and the sellers just kept that space immaculate. This one's been on and off the market just a couple of times. That one was in the 1.6 range most recently. But again, just a beautiful community. You have neighbors, but you feel like you still have some space and a little bit of nature between as well. And then the last street here over in Rimrock Meadows Estates is Enchantment. You'll notice this is a prime example of shops that are detached from the house, all on one lot. That is something that's really, really important to people up here. They really love that. And I'm such a huge fan of being at the end of a cul-de-sac. We happen to live at the end of a cul-de-sac. And I feel like you just get the best of both worlds, but also just have it really quiet. In here, you're going to have some HOAs. You're going to have, like I said, architectural design committees. You're super close to town. So we're going to go out the back gate, which is English Point. The cool thing about English Point, if you take that road all the way down into Lakeview, you're going to be probably about just under 20 minutes from, let's say, Costco, approximately 15 to 20 minutes from Target, probably closer to 20. You're going to be close to the country club, to the golf course, the Hayden Lake Country Club, and then also Avondale as well. And then you're going to have some really great restaurants in Hayden. So you're still pretty close. And the other cool thing is, again, you can hop in your golf cart and run right down to the club, which is really important to people. So this is the back gate that leads you into Rimrock Meadows Estates, where we just toured through. And it dumps you out on English Point. Everything is either a pin pad, it's not guard gated, but it's either a pin pad or with a remote. So thanks again for following along on today's tour.